Want to just kind of start off with this. This is a team that played with a lot of joy last season. How do you take the learnings from a playoff loss that was not very fun, kind of apply those sharpened edges without losing that joy?
I think it works in a few ways. I think for honestly, I always tell people if you can never lose your joy. If you lose your joy in this, doesn't matter what you got going on. Even winning a championship won't be fun if you lose your joy. That's first and foremost. As much as the loss hurts, we have to remind ourselves this is a blessing to be here. Not saying we have any moral victories or anything, but I think that's first and foremost. You can't lose that because then it becomes the day-to-day becomes tougher.
Miserable.
Yeah, it becomes tough. So I think that's the first thing, and I think with the group of guys we have, it makes coming to work. Even when things didn't go well for us. Even when things. Remember the beginning of the year last year, we went through those. We gave up the fourth quarter leads 3 or 4 times.
Yep.
We still came into it okay, we're learning. We're getting better in different things, and we said that publicly, and I think now. We went through what we went through last year in the playoffs, and you see a different side of guys, and as far as the hunger, the determination to come back and get there. But I think you have to continuously have that. And I think I speak for George when I say this. George is probably one of those guys who, doesn't matter what day it is, he's always going to continuously, keep it light. Because understand it's a long season. There's a lot of pressure. There's always going to be voices. There's always going to be different things. So for us, it's how do we embrace that? How do we embrace that? And I've been in situations where we've had an early playoff exit and had to respond, and I've had situations where we've, overachieved, you know what I mean? So you have to understand that it's going to be the same. You keep it consistent. That's what all the greats do. That's what all the best teams do, and, we have a great group for that.
I was really impressed last year that you were able to come to this team, have an individually your best season, most efficient season, have such a great year, and everybody else around you. Darius had a great year, Evan had a great year, Jared had a great year. How much of an advantage is it for you guys to have continuity going into the season when you look at other top teams in the East? They're going through basically what you guys went through last year of integrating a major piece right before the season.
Yeah, it's not as easy as I got to say we made it look throughout the year. I think it was a credit to each of us, kind of figuring each other out. And it took time, obviously. And then on top of that, DG gets hurt for the first 10 games. So then not only do we have that we figured out, then we have to figure it out again. But it's not easy. But, I have no doubt those 2 teams in particular will, or 3 if you count Philly, will figure it out and be fine. But I think for us, I think the biggest thing now is we can practice, we can talk to each other. I can sit here and talk to y'all about schemes and ways we can be better, but ultimately, until you go through it on a random Thursday in April or February, in November, December, so you go through those things with success, with also with and losses, I think that's the ultimate learning experience. We have a year of that. We have a year of things that went well. We have a year of things that also didn't go well. So now I think for us, those conversations are easier because those conversations we understand each other more. We understand what the other person is talking about, because it's one thing to continuously go out there and plug and play, as I call it, all right, this will work here, this will work there. But now that we see, this is what worked, this is what I have to get better at, this is what I didn't work on my lob passes. To be honest with you, that's something I just know, just getting better at that with Evan J.A. There's different things down the line that a year around guys understanding that those interior bounce passes aren't going to work with those 2. You know what I'm saying? So, understanding that that's what guys are comfortable with and just being able to acclimate that into our individual games.
I want to ask you about the new additions. Clearly, the team focused on shooting.
Yep.
And for much of last season, you were a player who, when you didn't have the ball, it was pretty important for you to just space.
Yeah.
And now that you might be playing along, bona fide knockdown, 40% three-point shooters, how does that change your game off ball?
I don't think it changes much. I think now, this is what I've been used to for about 3 or 4 years of my career, to be honest. In Utah, it was around 40% all around me, and then obviously we never had 2 bigs, but obviously having Rudy at the center. So now this is something that I'm just accustomed to. Same spacing, getting to the corners, spacing on the wings, and now the defense just has to make a decision. They're going to choose to let Darius, myself, Karras, get downhill and find Evan, and J.A. or are you going to allow Evan to play in the half roll? Do you help? Do you not help? You're going to allow guys to shoot? They have to make that decision. But the thing for us is we have to continue to make the simple play over and over again. That's the one thing I've learned. And in my career, I didn't realize that because I came from no spacing my first 2 years and then came to where I had Mike Boyan, and JC and different Royce O'Neal. So understanding that the simple play is what's going to be the biggest thing this year. It's just whatever's right in front of you because we have so many threats, so many options. So for me, off ball, sometimes it's just standing there and waiting for the play to be made and trusting that the play is going to be made.
Right. Well, thank you so much for spending this time.
Yes,
we really do appreciate it, and all the best this year.
I appreciate you guys.
Have
Thank
a
you.
good one. Thank you. Appreciate it, man.